Channel, my family and friends. We're not in the mountains right now. We're down in the valley visiting Daniela's mother and her boyfriend. So we're having a little bit of chill time. Just wanted to touch in briefly and really just kind of summarize what I think is going on right now, which is I think it's amazing news. it, Nothing is going as one might expect. The world was waiting for the Iranians to take over. To the Islamic Revolution was to take over. Hey, Sarah Sam, what's up? Um, the, the the good people of the book, for example, the Yidden, we've always been suspicious of Iran, but it wasn't Iran. It wasn't the Iranian people. It was the deep state behind Iran, the deep state behind Hamas, the deep state behind parts of the Israeli government, certainly the intelligence, parts of the intelligence community. This is a hey Wade, hey Pegs. Yeah, so it's going to be an amazing year. I think everything is set up. I think it just seems like we are in the storm. Nothing can stop what's coming. It's the word that I'm thinking of, the word that really sticks out in my mind is the word cascade. That this unfolding, the great awakening is cascading in it, like water coming down a waterfall. It's like on this level, then it's on this level, and it just gets richer and deeper and better. So I think we're in for an amazing new year. It's going to be probably, to people who don't know what's going on, kind of rocky. The Freemasons have broke away from the Ethiopian Bible, right? Um, yeah, the Freemason that broke away. I mean, that kind of portrayal makes it seem so linear. This was not a linear occurrence in my view. This was cascading the evil. I'm talking about the bad guys. GKs. I'm not sure what you're saying, Truth Master Brenda, but it's I don't think there's like a simple explanation. I think this is the colossal nature of the enemy, and probably the colossal nature of the good people of Tartaria. They were probably, I mean, I'm thinking it could be in one version of reality, it could be that the people that were taken out by this fanatic, satanic, Moilekian, child sacrificing uh, banksters were probably really good people. Otherwise, I don't think this could have occurred. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. This was not an easy one for me. This because usually in my regular environment, it's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh living like that. So it's kind of a break from the wind and the nature and the. But this is a little bit more difficult for me personally because we're visiting Daniela's mother, and it's very pleasant here. It's very easy. We had a nice meal. About the silver, yeah. Well, the silver. The Freemasons built the world because they were not attached. Yeah, Harmony O'Neill. I think that's a very. I like your ideas, but I think it's an oversimplification. I think like this is. It's beautiful that you're interested in that. If you're not a troll, that that there was like some reason, or this is the truth and that's the truth. It's way beyond, in my view. I mean, we as a community have been studying this issue for years. It's way beyond like one reason, like they switched the Bible or they did this or they did that. This is the In order, what state are you in? I'm in. I'm actually in Nevada. Uh, but Yeah, the silver is a big thing. But again, is it all about silver? It's really not. I mean, it is and it isn't. Is it all about XRP? Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, to me, it seems like that's huge. But what's going on in Iran right now is remarkable. Is absolutely remarkable and off the charts, and a phenomenal reversal of fortune for the good people of the world. Now, if you're listening to me from Iran, I love you guys. I just love what you're doing. I wish Americans were as well. We have different issues here. We have different issues here, and it's a different situation. But the Iranian people are brave, strong, intelligent, good looking, really. I mean, handsome people that go way back. Their history as a civilization is very deep and very rich, and probably a lot of the original biblical tales that we know of. The history is ancient. The people are ancient and wise, and so the people of this sort of modern world were thinking that these Islamics, the Islamic revolution was going to, they're basically ready to take over the world. I know for sure the Israelis have believed that, and they believe that it's all about Islam versus the Jews. That's if you're a card carrying member of the religious community, it boils down to it's a very simple thing, and that's kind of what I'm saying about simple explanations that reverberate in your I don't want to say, I want to say this delicately, but in your intellectual space, in the that you figured out or you got some information, and this is the overlay. This overlay solves the situation. Now, if you're a truth seeker, and if you're one of us who've been through this for decades, you've gone through this 1,000 times. You finally say, now I get it. And it's this template. This is the answer. This is what happened in the world. And if you're like the rest of us in this community, you've probably gone through that, thousands of times. I finally realized it's all about Gilgamesh. It's all about Noach. It's all about the Freemasons. It's all about the Islamic Revolution. It's all about the communists. These are all distractions to keep us from the basic truth of this conflict, of this world war that is taking place. I concur with 107 to some degree that we're coming to the end of this. I don't see it as, I mean, it's possible that everything is coming to a climax on January 1st, January 15th, the Clarity Act goes in, and that this will, Q said, is once the initial direction is set, once the kinetic nature of this war becomes visible, that the end will roll in rather rapidly. What does that mean? Rather rapidly? You and I have been holding on to this position for many years. So for us to say, "Oh, it's going to happen right away," to people who have been here for a long time, that's almost laughable. could this all crescendo? I mean, I think this Iranian Revolution is a major piece of this puzzle, because just a few weeks ago, and this is something that we're not aware. We don't have the consciousness to be aware of the thinking that got us here. To go back in time a few weeks is not something we ordinarily do. We just keep adding on to what we know. But a few weeks ago, we would have thought it's, the Islamics are, I call them Islamics. I don't know what else to call them. They're taking over the world. They're taking over America. It's all over for us. They reproduce like rats, and there's no hope for us. A few weeks ago, we were thinking that. And this is something that we don't recognize, is how fast this awakening is progressing. It's really, people are like, when is it going to happen already? It's like, are you kidding me? It's been happening. We've been in the middle of a storm for a long time now. But this is a crescendo moment that it's a it's like a timeline. You remember when we were kids? Sorry for the yawning. It's late, but they always had us writing timelines. The most ridiculous thing, because why is it ridiculous? Because history does not revolve around points in time. 9/11 happened. I mean, you could make a case for that, but history is really the evolution of consciousness. I think so. So just a few weeks ago, we were all scared. Oh my gosh, it's all about Islam. They're taking over the world. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Now we're seeing Iran, which was the heart of darkness for those of us on the outside of that environment. It's the Iran, and then so what happened here? Obama sent pallets of cash pallets of cash. Obama set up these Somali invaders. He gave them houses and fortunes and took all our money to set up this Islamic invasion within the United States. It was it was a brilliant plan, and it all was conducted without our awareness. It was all conducted in the shadows, and they would have won. One of the most heartbreaking realizations, and I knew this years ago, that President Trump and the White Hats had to allow the the COVID Holocaust to occur in order to show people the depths of this evil. Now, those of us who understood this at the time, it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. I mean, like me and my community, I was with people. I'm like, don't you see they're trying to kill you? And they're just like, oh, Ellie, would they, I got this from my best friends. Ellie, come on, kill us with a vaccine. Why? No, Ellie. So for those of us who understood what was going on, this was absolutely devastating, heartbreaking. And we had to, all of us, I'm sure everyone here has an experience that they can share where they couldn't relate to their families, they couldn't relate to their friends, they couldn't, the people in their work were, I mean, I had a union rep chase me out of the building, physically chase me out of the building because he didn't like the mask I was wearing. And I got the mask from another AP, from another assistant principal. She said, use this mask. He didn't like it. And he chased me out of the building, and I had to leave the building. This is the kind of thing that we went through, which is nothing compared to like the Holocaust, where if they didn't like you, they just shot you and left you and left you in a ditch. I mean, compared to that, this was nothing. But on our level of understanding, our level of tolerance in terms of maliciousness, this was horrific. They just said you can't come to your job is over. You've been working here for 20 years and it's goodbye. I'm like, okay. So the Iranian Revolution is a critical point. But again, critical points are markers. They're not they're markers to develop a certain aspect of consciousness. Just like I've been talking about stories in my life, like my car being repossessed. It's not really that big a deal. It's just like it's a marker to show me it's a point in time, an event in time that will lead me in different directions than I was going. And so therefore it's a good thing. But the Iranian Revolution, the Somalis, this whole Muslim invasion was perpetrated not by the Iranian people, not by the Saudis. There was a group of Saudis, there were fanatics, and they were developing communities all over the United States. This is a deep state operation. This whole Islamic revolution was a deep state operation, had nothing to do with Islam. I don't think Islam has anything to do with Islam. I don't think Judaism has anything to do with Judaism. I don't think Christianity has anything to do with Christianity. This is all just creations by the deep state to make us act the way they want us to act. They infiltrated everything, the media, the doctors, the lawyers, it's all the different countries. But at the end of the day, like this wonderful elderly, she's probably my age, 70-year-old, probably seven, she's probably younger than me, but there's a wonderful woman on X that I sometimes refer to, and she's convinced that it's all about the British Empire. Alavai. So, if only it was the British Empire, if only it was the Iranians, if only it's much worse than that. It's the hidden evil in the shadows. It is the satanic force that hates humanity, and especially godly humanity. And we are godly. We are by nature godly. You don't need. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole religious thing. I was deeply religious for 25 years, and I loved being. And I'm not discounting the wealth and the greatness that comes from being religious. It's wonderful. But if you're a truth seeker, there's only so much you can take of it. When you see them acting like idiots when it comes to a Holocaust, they're like, "Hey, man, the Rebbe said the doctors we're supposed to follow doctor's order. Ellie, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm not getting vaxxed. I'm not getting vaxxed. I know what the vax is. I know all about it. I knew about it because I was interested in what's happening to the world. I've always been interested. We are bred for this. We are positioned in our places to do this job, to shed light on things that people are easily brainwashed. We are not. Or I think another way of looking at people like you and I is that we are easily brainwashed. I mean, this is how I see it. I'm willing to accept any glove on my hand, religion, whatever truth fits, I will accept it. But once I put the glove on my hand, I will start to examine. Well, wait a minute. Is this really a glove for me? Right? Does this really fit? Does this really make sense? I spent 25 years in the Hasidic community. I loved it. But when I saw when the rubber hits the road And the Holocaust comes in, whether it's your doctor or your lawyer or your rabbi telling you to get vaxxed. That's when the alarms go on. Oh, so wait a minute. I like this glove. It feels good, but you know what? I mean, this is something I experience now. I go through a pair of gloves in about 2 weeks. I've worn out. Most gloves do not. I wear gloves all day long when I work, but certain I do a lot of work with rocks, and rocks rub. Anyway, it seems to me that we're willing to suspend disbelief and come into a certain narrative, but as soon as we discover that, wait a minute, it's not all about, it's not just the Freemasons, it's evil itself. It's Satan. If you had told me 10 years ago, I would be that Satan was a real thing, I would have just laughed you out of the room. I'd be like, come on, that's so old fashioned. Satan, really? We've had a tremendous education here. We've gone through the fire. But so this Iranian Revolution. So Obama, who is consummate, I knew this the second I looked at him, that this man was pure evil, masquerading as the greatest good. First black president. I mean, I think I can say things that are somewhat stereotypical now without being called a racist. But my experience, I spent my whole career in the black community in Brooklyn, teaching kids. I mean, the people from Crown Heights would say, "Ellie, are your students black?" I'd be like, I don't know. I never really thought about it. They're just, it's, you just think of their names. You don't think of them that way. I don't. But the idea that somebody once, somebody said, well, he's the, first black president, and I would say he's black because in my experience has been that black people have an essential kindness and an essential compassion that is atypical of I don't know if it's may not be as true now, but I never saw Obama as like a compassionate kind of cool dude I'd want to hang out and have a beer with. I mean, it's like that guy's like he's the incarnation of Paro. Anyway, I don't want to get off, but anyway, so Obama set up this incredible Muslim Brotherhood, Islamic revolution, financed this whole thing, brought these Somalis here, sent truckloads of money to Iran. Hillary was with the uranium one, and all these scandals to reposition power, to redo the power, and then President Trump just comes along and he says no, and he blew up their nukes. He right away just blew up their nukes, and it was like that was the linchpin. That was just the thing holding this whole. And I'm not talking about the Islamic Revolution. I see the Islamic Revolution from the Ayatollahs as deep state, pure and simple. It's not, they're severely religious. No, they're deep state. They're paid by deep state. They're the same people who. This is the Illuminati. This is the gray pope, the black pope, the 13 bloodline families, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Orsinis, the Breakspears. All this and more. Evil, pure evil. So what is happening now with the Iranian people saying, enough, we don't want this, we don't like this, mutilating young women, cutting off hands. I mean, cutting off heads. These people are sick beyond belief. Islamic terrorism. I don't think it has anything to do with Islam. I really don't. I think during World War II, there were certain influencers who this was the deep state. World War II was the deep state. The Nazis are the deep state. The bankers are the deep state. The pharmaceutical companies are the deep state. The insurance companies are deep state. The lawyers and judges are deep state. The Democrats, and the Republicans are deep state. What does deep state mean? The City of London, this is English law. No, it's Satan. It's pure darkness. It it allows children to be sacrificed bec- purely because it goes against godliness, because there's nothing more important than a child. A COVID probe, all she needed was fluid pulled from lungs, right? Yeah, no, they massacred the people. This was a Holocaust. This was worse than the Holocaust because people didn't even know it was a Holocaust. She was not vaccinated, yeah. Jesus was Ethiopian. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what? I really, I really, I can't deal with this line of thinking. It's just, to think that it's because of this or it's because of, I just went through that whole discussion and they're saying, well, it's Jesus. I mean, what the hell does that have to do with anything? Uh, you know, I mean, a lot of people get a lot of beautiful light from the idea of this Jewish carpenter, and that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wendy, too. I mean, I just remember. I remember going with. I can say this now because Danielle's on the room. She gets really upset. But with my ex, we went to check out the remdesivir. They were all saying she got COVID and she didn't have a vaccine. She wasn't vaccinated. And we went into the doctor to get this. We went into a special clinic to get this remdesivir or whatever it is. I can't pronounce it. Thank God. And they started explaining what it was. This new miracle cure. I said, no fucking way you're putting that. No way. We're out of here. And there was a young woman there who was pregnant, and they were trying to push it on her, and she was terrified. And I was screaming. I was screaming at the doc. This nurse. She's like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever." I'm like, "No way." Even I wasn't really that fond of my ex. We had a lot of problems, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to see her die or be maimed by their latest whatever. Okay. Anyway, so what Trump is a genius. The White Hats are a genius. Military precision. They just took out their nukes, but the deep state underestimated the brilliance of the Iranian people, the brilliance and the bravery and the history. They underestimated, and they so just like in Canada, the things they're doing, the Canadians, and in Australia, worldwide, these people are so sick. Q always says these people are sick. So this is a big surprise because the mainstream narrative was that freedom of religion. We need freedom of religion. This Iranian, the Islamics, the Muslim Brotherhood. These are important. These are important thought streams. Why were they important thought streams? Because these people could be manipulated for money, just like the Republicans and the Democrats could be manipulated for money. They could be blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein. They could be you could get them to do things that a normal person wouldn't do in the name of their serving Allah. Does this really serve Allah to kill people? You really, that's religious? That's deep state. But the fact that they can't stop the Iranians. They're way too smart, way too smart. Brilliant people, and with a tremendous history. So this is the beginning of the end for the deep state. The deep state is going down, but the brilliance of the white hat, this military strike against this heart of darkness, is happening on so many levels. The bankers are scrambling for their lives because they just like printed something like $74 billion. They need, or they just like borrow $74 billion to get them out of hot water. This system is crumbling. The political systems are crumbling. People are waking up. Is everyone waking up? No. I asked my Daniela's mom, do you know what's going on in Minnesota? She's like, no. They just don't know. They don't hear it. It's not on. It's not. It doesn't come to them. It doesn't pertain to them the way it pertains to us because we have this strength and weakness that we must know the truth. We must know the truth. We will not settle for anything less. So it's all good. So they're going down, man. The silver thing, the bankers, Iran, the Somalian, the deportations, everything. It's real. We were coming into Jassara. Could it happen next month? It very well could. I think things have to happen rather fast. But again, you can't measure time, in my opinion, in terms of days, weeks, minutes. You measure time in terms of consciousness. What thought makes sense to you at any particular time? That's the bottom line for me. So, like this whole thing about the EBS, Patriots have been talking about the EBS. They're still talking about it. We don't need it. This is the EBS. It would be the word that comes to my mind is gauche. It's like it would be gauche for the military to do the EBS. They don't need to. They're so far advanced with all this. They're so far ahead of us. Really, you think 3 8-hour movies played over continually is going to make a difference? And someone who's never even heard of half this stuff, that's the way you want to wake them up? No, you want to wake them up slowly and gently, and you want them to kind of understand and go through the things that we went through. Yeah. Okay. So people happening in Minnesota, hot to wake them up, right? Yeah, it's a good thing to tell people because your lungs to fill up with fluid and your organs fail. Remdesivir. Yeah, I knew that. I go even my ex, man. I had no great love for my ex, but I was like, "You're a human being too," you know. And that poor woman who was pregnant. I hope she heard what I had to say and made the right choice. Well, Rush Limbaugh. Trump said all the time, it's all about the children. Yeah, it is all about the children. Yeah, protocols. Yeah, tell people in Minnesota. I know it's because it's, but okay. So the good news is, let me just show you the thought stream. Just quick, real quick. I'm just going to do this real short, a short tonight because I want to. I don't get to see Daniela's mom and her boyfriend that much, but also, um, I think we have better things to do than to ruminate over the nightmare. Well, it's good. It's good for us as a community to acknowledge that what we've been through and how difficult it was to watch innocent people throw themselves with fervor and enthusiasm to throw themselves off the cliff. I just It broke my heart. I had to leave the community. I was just like, I can't watch you guys do this to yourselves. It's because I know what's going on. Anyway, we've been through a lot. So what about Iran? So the good news is you can't put the cork back in the bottle. The Iranian people have woken up. The the military, initially there was some. I think there was some uh, clawback of the military trying to shoot. They were shooting people, but if you look at the movie V for Vendetta, how does it end? There are just too many people, and that means that's the end of this war. Is when the good people of the earth, wake up and say, "I ain't doing that anymore. We're done." The Iranian people have been starved. Their economy sucks. When the truth comes out, there will it's the Elohim. Yeah, I just I really think that's it's it belittles us to think that it's this or that. I'm just saying. I just is it Elohim? I don't know. I don't think so. I, I think that's an oversimplification. Health and wealth transfer. Yeah. So that's the good news. We're coming into Jasara, and that's it. Let me just go to the Tharsi for a moment. Let's just look at the most recent things that have been put out. Okay, let's go all the way up. As we enter the new year, the Asian guy, right? He's great. Heading into silver's position for major moves. Okay, Washington Monument, America's biggest birthday candle. The times are too grave. The challenge is too urgent and the stakes are too high to permit the customary passions of political debate. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. JFK. That's beautiful. Tonight we're lighting the Washington Monument like never before. We're going to have an amazing year. Perhaps we've been watching this silver market a little too close, but Millennia walked out. Oh, yeah, she's wearing silver. That's interesting. 2026, it's going to be an amazing year. Article about Clooney and mentions ABC News. The parent company is Disney. Disney is a distraction. Free college, free healthcare, free internet, free everything. Taxpayers bearing the taxpayer. Attention, all traders, justice is coming for you. Do you think the White House would put out a video if they weren't planning to take down the whole diseased temple? The hour has come, the veil will be torn apart. Secrets kept for centuries will spill into the open. There's nowhere to hide. The ones who ruled from the dark will be dragged into the light. Their reign ends now. The air will tremble with the sound of justice. Here, let's just see. You were not born. You were not born to be a corporate asset. You were born to be a living, spiritual, sovereign being. The moment of birth was hijacked, not to protect you, but to convert you into. Okay, this is a whole thing about this whole thing. The COVID operation was not about health. It was a control event, a coordinated okay, so let me get through this. Yeah, the birth certificates were not document of life; they were instruments of incorporation. And the so-called New World Order was never new; it was planned, refined, and executed over centuries. Its architects are bloodline families operating above governments, hidden behind banking, religion, medicine, and law. Silence protected them because exposure would have ended their control instantly. The COVID operation was not about health, it was a control event, a coordinated global compliance test designed to enforce obedience, right? inject dependency and accelerate population reduction. The objective was clear: shrink humanity from billions to a manageable remnant. Okay, the Organic Act, every major uh, war, the banks financed both sides. The Act of 1871, common law, maritime law, the British Crown. Okay, that belief. Okay, the British Crown and the Vatican sit on top of this hierarchy, using corporate America as their enforcement arm for global control. The structure only works as long as people believe it's legitimate. That belief is breaking. This is the Great Awakening, the return of what was always ours, the end of corporate enslavement, and the restoration of human sovereignty. That's beautiful. And that's really all you need to say. We are becoming sovereign. We are understanding our own power, our own abilities. The Iranian people are just, this is like V for Vendetta. They're just like, enough, get lost. But we thought it's kind of like, wasn't there a scene in The Wizard of Oz where evil was destroyed, and all the evil people were like happy that it was destroyed? I just remember something like that. It's like, well, we didn't like them either. We were just doing it because they made us do it. And that's like so much of when Neo says, not Neo, when Neo's teacher says, these people, until they wake up, these people are your enemy. It's hard to think that way, but I just know when I was having a troubled moment last week. I was in Walmart and I was like, "Can I use your phone?" My car was just towed and my phone was in it. I don't have a way to communicate with. I don't know what happened. And they're like, "No, you can't use our phone." I'm like, "Really? This huge corporate structure, and you won't let me use your phone?" And each one would come and say, and kind of sneer at me. Anyway, that's a side point. Um, I've learned this impossible: think for yourself. Yeah, you have to think for yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, I just don't. It is a battle of good and evil, but I just, to say it's the Elohim is just, it's it's giving them too much credit, in my opinion. The witch is dead. V for Vendetta. The Iranian people are coming to the forefront. Let me just mention our sponsor, LifeWave. Just to remind everyone, if you're having difficulties with your health, or even if you just want to stay younger longer, check in with Dr. Stacy or sign up under me. Try the X39. Let me just play a quick short clip.
A life empowered is closer than you think. We're all looking for a better way. Reimagine what's next with a new sense of exuberance. Why not power on like you mean it? Or power off blissfully? A better sleep is a better awake. You've never moved like this before. With the energy nature intended. Imagine reprogramming the way you look at the speed of science, at longevity, at exhilaration. It's next level rejuvenation. Take control of your well-being from the inside out and outside in. The light within is ready to ignite. Be the light. LifeWave.
Yeah, just to remind everyone, these patches are amazing. We're last night I had a really nice sleep. I was using Alavita and Silent Nights. Other people use Eon, which reduces inflammation. I haven't really experimented much with the Eon patch, and the glutathione patch. I know people really kind of talking a lot about glutathione, the master antioxidant. There's a patch that increases your glutathione levels without infusions or anything added to your system. It's just a patch that activates your glutathione. It increases your glutathione levels naturally. So this is a great technology, and I encourage everyone to grow with this. I still think if you haven't invested in XRP, you should just buy 10 for $20. You could buy 10 pieces of XRP. It's very cheap now. If I had a bunch of money, I would still buy more XRP because the flip is going to come, and one day it's going to be, they're already saying $3,000. If you buy it for, think about it, if you buy a coin for $2, and I will never contact anyone to sell you this. I don't get anything for selling you XRP other than the feeling that I'm helping another human being become sovereign. It's, I don't, and I will never reach out to you, and Coinbase will never reach out to you and say there's a security problem. Those are scammers. Okay, so don't get, I'm only saying this because I want you guys to be rich. And whatever happens with the RV and those and Jasara, I know that we will all be rich, but I want you to have the feeling that you are in control, that you did something during these dark times. But if you bought $20 worth of XRP, that would be 10 coins. Think of it, if it goes to $3,000, which is a low ball compared to Bitcoin, which does nothing, was over $100,000. But if you bought 10 coins, 10 XRP, and it went to 3,000. That's like $30,000, right? Am I doing the math right? If it goes to 100,000 times 10 is $1 million. If you had 10 XRP and it goes to 100,000, which is not, if you figure a worthless coin like Bitcoin could do that, so how much more so something that all financial all financial movement will be on the XRP rails, XLM as well, and all the other, ISO 222. If the flip comes, money is based off human. Yes, absolutely. We're not going to need money. What I'm saying is just I want you to feel like you are a liberator of your own self. So if you buy 10 coins, you're like, it's just like, it's that you put in the effort. It's that you made the action. It's that you pushed forward when there was so much darkness around you. And you look back and you go, wow, man, that was really brave of me. I did that. Even like LifeWave too. I think it's a life-changing thing, but it's the idea of changing your diet, adding LifeWave, that you are taking control of your future and your life. That to me is because when we get to the other side, which could happen in a few days, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. It could be happening now. You want to be able to look back and say, yeah, man, I made it through. I didn't succumb to this thing or whatever. And if you did succumb to that, I took the nicotine, I took the nicotinotace. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. I took the LifeWave. I reset my DNA. I did all these things. I move forward. To me, that's all the manifestation process. It requires your thinking, your action, your speech. You think about it, you do it. Anyway, that's my thing. Grant, you here? Yeah, I use Eon at night, and XB6 and glutathione during the day with XRP and X49. Yeah, that's huge, man. Grant, we got to get together this week. I'll be around tomorrow if you want to. If you have some time, but Norman's standing by, so we're starting a kind of a lifestyle channel where we're going to talk about health, because there's a lot. It's a lot more. There's a lot more to it than just because it's complex, but it's really not complex. It's simple, but we've been so misled nutritionally, health wise. sun wise, we think the sun is going to hurt us. I know my mom is worried about, she has like little skin cancer that they spent 5 years on a sailboat, and she blames it on the sun, but I think it's probably that they use sunscreen. Anyway, we're all changing, we're all growing. Imagine 65 at $15,000, right? It's a colossal lot of money, but it's right now it takes a lot of balls to buy a few coins. It does, because it's going down. It's down to a dollar 80, unheard of, unbelievable, so cheap now. Silver too. I mean, we all want to buy silver, but I'm telling you, I think copper is a better investment right now because it's pretty cheap. And it's not that much easier to get a hold of though than silver. Anyway, have a beautiful night. I'm not going to play the song, even though I want to, because I don't want to be too loud here for one thing, and also, can you believe it? uh, YouTube is telling me I can't play my own songs because I don't own the copyright. I'm like, I wrote that song. I produced that song. That's my song. And you're telling me I can't play it on my own channel? This is how stupid AI is. That's why they're always shadow banning me and stuff. It's like, what's wrong with you, you stupid computers? You're supposed to be so smart. This AI force. They're they're like giggly little teenagers. They're like mischievous little teenagers that can't seem to get it right. I mean, people are afraid of AI taking over the world. They will never replace a human being. If you think AI is going to replace us, I mean, you do not really know yourself. Because if you really knew yourself, you would know that you are capable of amazing things. And there's no way the smartest computer in the world, could ever replace you. A computer can't feel it. It can, like, it can't intuit. Logic is very limited. I know, isn't it crazy? I've got YouTube is saying I can't monetize it. They don't want to monetize me anyway. They're not going to probably, they're saying supposedly they've been taking a month to figure out whether I'm worthy of being monetized. I'm like, well, how long does it take to figure out whether, but apparently it takes them a long time. And they also can't figure out that, if I play a song that I wrote and produced, that I'm not violating anyone's copyright. That's what I'm saying. Humans will never be replaced. You can't replace us. We're infinite. We're connected to source. So I'm not going to play tonight also because out of respect to my, the hosts of where I'm sleeping now, because they have neighbors. I don't, but they do. Um, okay, 97 million at 15,000, right? Humans are created to be quantum beings. Yeah. There's no, people are saying, oh, AI is taking over the world. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. They can't. They don't have it. We do. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force, and that no machine is ever going to replace you. I'm sorry. I don't. I watched the Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger, uh, and may source be with you. May you realize that you are source itself. And like I said, like it popped out of my mouth, this whole thing with templates. We going through this template is this is what's wrong with the world. It's this, it's the Democrats, it's the this, it's the that. It's much bigger than that. But at the end of the day, we are consciousness itself. We are not just bodies. We are not just souls. We are soul in a body. And in the deepest places of mystic Judaism, they say that the physical world is on a higher level than the spiritual world, and in the world to come, the body will teach the soul. I don't. I mean, this is just you can't really comprehend these kinds of thoughts, but It'll never comprehend. It'll never compare to the human mind. I don't think so. Thank you about the songs. Thank you. I like them too. I mean, it took a lot to write those songs, but years, really years and years and years to write those songs. And hopefully, I have one more, at least one more coming. Hopefully, I have a bunch more coming. But so let's get out there with a big smile. I will see you, God willing, at some point tomorrow. And happy New Year to everyone. I know I'm not big on holidays, but happy New Year. It's going to be amazing. It's really going to be. That's the bottom line. This is going to be the year of years. Trump is saying by July it's going to be we're going to be in a whole different place. So let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.